Hello, welcome to Queering Theology and Philosophy as we enjoy sounds and waves from the East. Thank you. That is music from the Arab world. Very beautiful. I love it. And it gets me dancy and happy. So today we are focusing on linguistics of Hinduism, and we are going to be looking at Tantrism, or I call it Tantric Yoga. And it is one form. There are very many forms of yoga, and what we said in our last video, a lot of yoga, all forms of yoga are found in all religions. It's just the degree that varies. And this is what it means. Tantra means, literally, it's a loom or a weave or a system. Therefore, matrix denotes the esoteric traditions of Hinduism and Buddhism that co-developed most likely about in the middle of the first millennium AD. And of course they're showing you that it's mostly found in Buddhism and Jainism and all of these others. Of course it means weaving, the way you can weave something. And this is more about the etymology, and you can find the history is still going on here. You know, to be a tantra or to tantra is to weave. You can be a promoter. And in the modern days, it has been an esoteric practice, Tantraism that is, and a ritualistic religion. And there is a wide gap between what Tantra means to followers and what Tantra has been represented or perceived as since colonial era writers began commenting on it. So people have still not understood it, and there is a war between the Western definition and the Eastern definition of Tantra. It has been labeled as a yoga of ecstasy, driven by senseless ritualistic libertinism. And this is very similar to what you have in most Eastern religions, like Sufism, a sect in Islam, is very tantric in what they do. There is a lot of you lose your senses. Your mind is not there. You switch off your mind. And these are the topics that are discussed in Tantra. They include the creation and history of the world, the names and functions of a great variety of male and female deities and other higher beings, the types of ritual worship, especially of goddesses, magic, sorcery, and divination, esoteric physiology, the mapping of the subtle or psychic body, the awakening of the mysterious serpent power, that's Kundalini Shakti, the techniques of bodily and mental purification, the nature of enlightenment, and not least, sacred sexuality. Have you seen? That's what we want to focus on. That this is mostly about the sexual, religious sexuality, sacred sexuality. And they go on. You can see beautiful colors, the rainbow. It is not strange in Hinduism, and neither is it strange in Judaism. As I said in the last video, Joseph wore a rainbow coat. His father gave him a rainbow coat. Very important thing that it was a rainbow coat that was given to the first son of the favorite wife of Jacob. And Joseph is, there's no tribe of Joseph. For weird reason, Joseph gave birth to twins. And the twins were half Egyptian. They had Egyptian mitochondria because the mother was an Egyptian and Joseph was a Hebrew. So it's very interesting. I have the view she was mostly, of course, she was black genetically, but I don't know how black she was. And it's just, you should know that most of Africa and the Arab world and are actually very close to the Jewish people. And of course, also some whites, some whites in the West who ran away and went to Europe. Okay, so let's focus on a bit on Tantrism. What does it involve? As I've already read out to you, that there are tantric items like geometric patterns and symbols, gestures, mapping of the microcosm within one's body, meditation, ritual worship, initiation, and sounds, And all of these things they are also found in other religions. As I've told you, Sufism, Islam, there's a lot of Tantrism. In Christianity, they have a lot of singing of songs, dancing, all of that. That is part of, that is some tantric characteristics found in Christianity. And then the ancient religions of the past were very similar to Hinduism. Actually, Hinduism is the only ancient religion that has survived for thousands of years, over 4,000 years. It is still surviving. The rest that were similar to it, like the Canaanite religion, the Babylonian religion, the Mesopotamian religion, the worship of Asherah, the worship of Dagon by the Philistines, the worship of Horus and Isis, and the worship of Atum, and all of these ancient religions died, and they have gone away, and they were very tantric. Actually, sex was the center of most of these religions. Yes, because they were fertility cults, and sex was always seen as a fertility rite, including homosexuality and heterosexuality. Now, we go on and see the practices in Tantrism. The Tantra has the following defining features: centrality of ritual, especially the worship of deities, centrality of mantras, visualization of and identification with the deity, need for initiation, esotericism, and secrecy, importance of a teacher, guru, and acharya, ritual use of mandalas, and the transgressive or antinomian acts. You see, you break the law. Antinomian means to break the law. So, and then revaluation of the body, revaluation of the status and role of women, analogical thinking, including microcosmic and macrocosmic correlation, revaluation of negative mental states, and shamanic, yogic beliefs and practices, Shakta worship, demon killing, forms of the Hindu and Buddhist goddesses, and the like. And also you can read on to Dakshina, donation or give to one's teacher, Diksha, which is initiation ritual, which may include Shaktipat, and then you have breathing techniques of Pranayama and postures, Asana, and then you have mudras or hand gestures. You have also mantras, and which is including reciting syllables, words, and phrases. Then you also have singing of hymns of praise. That's what you call when you sing hymns, when you do as I've told you, music is also a form of pleasure. It creates pleasure in the mind. And this is called stava. And then you have mandalas, and then you have yantras, and then you have symbolic diagrams of forces at work in the universe, and you have visualization of deities and identification with deities, and then you have the puja, and you have animal sacrifice, use of taboo substances. These include alcohol and cannabis and meat and other entheogens. And then you have prayaskita, and you have nyasa, and then you also have ritual purification of one's body. Then you have the devotion. Then you have also pilgrimages and processions. You have vows, fasting. Yes, all of these because they involve the body, and they are like detoxification. Then you have dream yoga and all of these things, ritual sexual union with an actual physical consent. And as I've said, it can either be homo or hetero. So this is Tantrism, and it is found in very many other religions. As you can see, Jainism, Hinduism, and all of these others. And research is still going on. Of course, everybody is trying to study the heart of this. But I am of the view that if you study Tantrism, you will study the heart of all ancient religions that existed thousands and thousands of years ago, because Hinduism is the only religion that can show us clearly what type of religions existed or how did they look in the past. And of course, colonization is the one that destroyed Hinduism, partly, especially the sexual rights, because the Hijras, the LGBTQ persons in Hinduism, were criminalized. And now India is working very hard and hopefully are going to decriminalize being a Hijra and being gay, so that it will restore the ancient life that existed in the East and the ancient sexual expressions that have always existed in man. So that's Hinduism, and it's found in very many religions, all religions, but like Christianity doesn't really borrow a lot from the sexual part of Tantra, but they borrow a lot from the singing and the prayers and the fasting and all of these. But the rest of the other religions, they borrow almost everything from Tantrism. As I told you, even Islam, Sufism is a sect in Islam that borrows a lot from Tantrism because they use a lot of music. They're the only Muslims who allow music and dancing. So, thank you so much for joining us. Let's keep on studying and reading all the religions of the world.